So if you've ever thought about making money online, then the advice you've probably heard is to blow up on Instagram or TikTok using viral trends. Now, that's easy if you're an attractive woman. However, unfortunately, a lot of us don't have that asset. Therefore, we need to find a new way to make money online. And that's why I've made this video into 3 simple steps that you can follow in order to build and grow your school community, making money online without blowing up on TikTok or Instagram or any social media for that matter, so that you can get the results like the ones you see on screen right now. So step 1 is the basics. Now, when I talk about basics, I mean that there is 2 things that you need in order to build a thriving school community online. That's it. Only 2 things. You can pretty much ignore everything else. Now, these 2 things can be broken down into traffic and a sales page. So just to give you a brief deep dive into the sales page, we'll look at the sales page first, and then throughout the video we'll look at some examples from my business and some other businesses that have really good sales pages. But all you need to know right now for building a community is that you need a sales page, and there's 2 routes that you can go down when building a sales page. Now, you can either have an internal sales page or an external sales page. So when it comes to the internal sales page, this means that the sales page is built within the software, and the software that I'm going to be talking about in this video is Skool. Obviously, I help people build and scale their school communities every single day. That's what I do. Therefore, I'm going to be talking about Skool, but this can be applied to pretty much any platform. So what an internal sales page looks like is basically you will direct people to your actual community, and Skool has a really nice feature where you can just build a sales page on your Skool, so you can send people directly to that software, and then they can view your sales page, look at what you have to offer while on the software, and then make the decision whether to buy or not. Now, this is a nice way to do it because not only is it quite simple, but it also reduces the friction. So the less friction that a buyer has, the more likely they are to buy. This is a simple sales technique. If they have to go through all these tedious steps in order to buy your product, the chances are they're not going to buy. It's a lot more likely that if it's just simple and there right in front of them, the purchase button is right there, they're more likely to buy than having to take 20 steps of filling out a survey and answering a questionnaire and putting all their details in and blah, 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 blah. You want to make it as simple as possible for someone to buy, and having a sales page built into the software is the easiest way on the planet to ensure that that takes place. Now, the second route you can go down with your sales page is an external sales page, and I use both, so I'll give you an example throughout the video of both of these. But what an external sales page looks like is you would send your traffic to a sales page on a third-party software. So you would build a landing page, you would put your offer, your product, and then that would redirect them to your actual school community, or that would redirect them to your Stripe payment or a payment processor that you have set up. Now, this is a nice way to do it because you can pretty much be free with this. You're not limited to just the software's sales page. You can add your own videos, add your own text, you can put your offer and your product, you can have all these different things, you can add questionnaires and surveys, which you can't quite do on the school community sales page. However, this also adds friction, so it's about finding the balance and what works well for your type of business and what sort of product you're offering. But the nice thing here is that you have the creativity and you have the freedom to be creative using this external sales page, where you can then redirect people from your sales page onto your school community, where they then can buy your product and join your community. So now that you know the basics of the sales page, like I said, I'll go into some examples further on in this video. Let's briefly talk about the second pillar of building a school community, which I mentioned at the start of the video, was traffic. Now, traffic, like sales page, can be broken down into 2 simple categories. The first category is cold traffic, and the second category is warm traffic. So cold traffic is essentially reaching out to someone who doesn't know who you are and doesn't know about your product and trying to convince them to buy your thing. For example, that could be messaging people on Instagram, that could be running ads, that can be reaching out to people on Twitter. Someone who doesn't know you or know your product, and you're just coldly reaching out to them, that is cold traffic. Whereas warm traffic is people who actually know about your product and are interested in your product and are looking to buy from you, or at least find out a little bit more about what you have to offer. So this could be someone watching your YouTube video and then clicking the link in the description. And to further go into a little bit more detail, obviously cold traffic is a lot harder to sell than warm traffic. That's why I like warm traffic. I like building people's social media followings up a little bit, building their Instagrams and their YouTube, and then having people go onto that and click the link by themselves, rather than just blatantly reaching out to someone, offering them your product. It's a lot easier to sell someone with warm traffic. They're more likely to be a better client as well. But either way will do. Either path that you can choose will be fine. There's just different methods and techniques. And I, like I said, teach in my community mainly about the warm traffic, just because I personally prefer it and I think it's better for this type of business model. So now that we've covered step one, we've looked at the basics of we need a sales page and then we need traffic going to that sales page. Let's jump into step two, which is a little bit more of a deep dive into marketing and this warm traffic that I was talking about just a moment ago. Now, there's a plethora of marketing techniques I could go through, building a YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all these different things. But I want to quickly talk about something that I don't think is talked about as much, and I think is quite a good opportunity at the moment. And that is the micro celebrity technique when it comes to reaching out to people and getting traffic to your sales page, aka the marketing side of it. So what this micro celebrity boils down to, and this could be a separate video in itself, and if you do want the full video on it, just join the $1 community that's in the description. But what this looks like in essence is becoming very popular within your specific niche. So basically becoming a celebrity within your little corner of the internet. So a lot of people make the mistake of looking at the big boys. They look at the guys with millions of followers and subscribers and think, okay, I'm just going to replicate them. However, the problem is that these big boys, they have leverage. They already have a mass following. So they could upload general business videos or general fitness videos and still get people commenting, get people liking, and get people following them, just because of the social proof and the million of followers that they already have. However, the problem is for you, you don't have these giant followings and this huge leverage. Therefore, you need to find a new way to capitalize on this marketing side. And the best way to do that is to become well known in your niche for solving a specific problem. So what this looks like in practicality, say that you were in the fitness niche, instead of just offering up fitness advice or bulking advice or cutting advice, you could instead offer cutting advice for people who work a 9-to-5 job and have 2 kids, or bulking advice for super skinny guys to make their arms look better in t-shirts. Something very, very specific, a very specific problem that a small group of people have. If you can solve their problem and get well known for solving that specific problem, you will soon build the leverage in order to branch out and make more generalized content and get more generalized people in. But the best way to get to start this flywheel, is to find a specific problem in a specific niche and get well known for solving that specific problem. Okay, so we've covered step one, which is obviously the basics between a sales page and getting traffic to that sales page. We've covered step two, which is the micro celebrity / marketing technique that I think is really cool. And now we need to move on to step three, which is the sales page itself in a little bit more depth, what it looks like in practicality. And like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm going to jump on my laptop and show you exactly what this looks like for me personally. So let's first cover the external sales page, which I spoke about. So as you can see here on screen now, this is my external sales page. And what this looks like is a third-party software that basically lets me host my own website. Now, like I mentioned, I can have the freedom here to put any text that I want. So for example, I put community building made simple, helping entrepreneurs and business owners grow and scale school communities using proven systems and frameworks. I can write whatever I want there. I can have whatever icons I want here. I can add the things that I teach. I can add testimonials. I can add a bit of marketing here. It gives me the freedom to be creative. And what people that get sent here from, my YouTube and my Instagram do is they then have the option. They can either look into my $1 community, which is my lower ticket offer, or the Community Accelerator, which is the higher ticket offer, and they have the freedom of choice here. Like I said, I can write whatever I want here, and it gives you that freedom to be more creative and pretty much do whatever you want, add whatever colors you want, whatever writing you want, whatever text you want. So what this looks like in practicality is that someone would click the link in my YouTube description, they would come onto this landing page / website, and then they could choose to learn more about the dollar community, and this would take them to my school sales page, which is the internal sales page. So what we had there was the external sales page leading to the internal sales page. However, the other route you can go down is to just immediately send people to this internal sales page. So you could grab the link for your sales page here and put it in your descriptions, put it in your bios, whatever you wanted, and send people straight to this landing page itself. Now, like I mentioned at the start, it's more frictionless. People can just instantly click a button and join the community if they wanted to, or they could choose to watch these videos, see the testimonials, read the description, and then decide if they want to join the community or not. And it reduces the friction because the button to buy is right there. It's right in front of their face. Everything they need to know is right in front of them. They don't have to go through more steps. But again, the downside here is that you can't be as creative. Obviously, I've got a video and some testimonials here, but I can't really, lay it out like a professional website and make it look and perceive the way that I want it to, like I can with a third-party software. So I talk about both of these methods within the $1 community course, which is just about open now, if you're watching this at the time of upload, and you can get everything you need to know about internal sales page and external sales page within this community. So I think the differences and the pros and cons of each is something that you need to analyze and look at within your own business and then decide which one you think works best. So now we've gone through this 3 steps. We've looked at the basics of sales page and traffic. We've looked at step 2, which is becoming a micro celebrity in your niche for marketing purposes. And we've looked deep dive into a sales page, what an internal and an external sales page actually looks like for a business owner. Now, if you want to know exactly what type of content you want to be making for your business, then you can click the video that you see on screen now, and I'll show you exactly how to do that.